Nam Sankirtan. So, welcome to all of you. Thank you for coming to our Sunday Feast program. Gibt es jemand, der oder die kein Englisch versteht? Very good. Then I would request some of you to please come to this side. If you want, we can also sit here. So now we're going to have a class, and actually I just realized that our Vyasa-san is not here.
It's perfect for running the show.
You need to check. Okay,
no, we have a check.
I'm sure.
Okay.
Is anyone here for the first time? Okay, 2. So
Over there.
3? Yeah, we met each other. So welcome also to you. It's very nice for us always to have newcomers. And now we're going to have a lecture. We're going to hear a little bit about the philosophy of Krishna Consciousness. And today we have a very special speaker. His Grace Aniruddha Prabhu. So, please Aniruddha Prabhu, take your seat.
Prabhuji will sing for you because he sings for you.
So Aniruddha Prabhu, just so that you know who is talking to you, he's a devotee who's been practicing Krishna consciousness for over 20 years, 25 years maybe, and 20 years. So he's very experienced in what he's going to tell you today, and he will speak about the topic of the giver of Krishna Prema. So Krishna Prema is the goal of our whole practice, and he will tell us a little bit how we can achieve this. Prabhu is a disciple of His Grace Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu, who is based in India, and who is the guru of many of the devotees in the Langenthal community. We have like 1 hour from here, there's another temple and the whole community of devotees. So thank you, Prabhu, for coming. Then you can still sit. No?
Yeah.
Yeah, please come if you can. This is always very pleasant for the speaker when the devotees come close.
Jai Radha Madhava
Welcome everybody. Glad to see so many new faces. You don't know me, but you don't really have to know me much. It's about Krishna. We're gathered here to know Krishna. And who is Krishna? And why are we coming here? Somebody who came first time. I saw, yeah? Why did you come?
Yeah, it's just a feeling, you know. I'm practicing yoga and just in a transformation phase. So
some inquisitiveness to find out what is that.
Okay.
Because it's also some type of yoga we are doing, right? Bhakti yoga it's called. So to know more. Anybody else came first time? Thank you, Prabhu. Yes.
I was looking for more to be near to God because I come from Christianity.
Yeah.
And something bring me here, and since I learn Krishna knew the name, and
Somehow it's attractive, huh?
Yeah.
Krishna means all attractive.
Yeah.
Krishna means all attractive. We mostly, most of us, I guess, coming from Christianity here, so you're not the only one. Yes. And there was a third person or only two? Okay, it's good. So this movement, as we see it here, was brought by Srila Prabhupada, and it is being continued by his followers, by his direct disciples and disciples of his disciples. That's Srila Prabhupada. He's from India. You heard of him, maybe? Yeah. Yeah. And he's one of the gurus in disciplic succession. That's very important part of our tradition, because in this way, this knowledge, this transcendental knowledge, which is we're all after, we want to know the absolute truth, what is the actual reality. So this knowledge is being passed through this disciplic succession, or from a spiritual master to a disciple. And the qualified disciples become, in his own turn, a spiritual master. And then he can pass this knowledge untouched, unmodified. It has to remain as it is. Otherwise, it will be impure, polluted. So that's a very important part. And therefore, today's topic is the giver of Krishna Prema. So what is Krishna Prema? Who knows? Definitely. Yeah, first of all, I apologize. I started speaking. Many senior devotees here, so I'm begging your blessings. I'm a new guy in comparison to you. I might have certain experience, but nevertheless, please pray to Prabhupada, to Krishna, Nitai Gauranga. So I will say something useful, and I will not deviate from whatever Prabhupada taught us, whatever Parampara taught us. Please, I beg your blessings, I beg your mercy. So, what's Krishna Prema? You can also, what do you think, what Krishna Prema is? Like, it's just some two Sanskrit words. What could they mean? To give a hint, this is our goal. So, what could you think could be our goal here?
To live with Krishna.
We want to come closer to Krishna. We want to be in contact with Krishna, but through what? Krishna is, one word there. Prema, what means prema?
Pure love.
Pure love, yes. So, yoga, it's actually same as religion, as Prabhupada explained. If you know, I don't know Latin, but I trust Prabhupada. He said, religio. Ligio is like to link, to connect. And yoga means to connect. You want to connect with Atman, with spirit, right? We don't want to just reside on the bhajani platform of life. We want to connect with our higher self, right? That's yoga. So, and it's very specific in our tradition, because Atman is very general word. It means spirit, but spirit is variegated. It's actually way more variegated when we experience the matter. We see this material world. We have so many different flavors, colors, tastes, so many different activities. But it is said to be just a dim reflection or perverted reflection of spiritual realm. So there is eternal world, which is full of variegatedness, and it's not anything like we know here. We can just get an idea what is variegatedness, because we have some experience here. But the problem here, and there is a problem for sure, it is asat, achit, nirananda. These are Sanskrit words. So, and we can see a or nir before the root. So it's like the opposite. If you have something opposite, when you put asat, achit, nir ananda, like completely bereft of Ananda. There is no Ananda. Ananda probably Ananda is bliss. You probably heard this word. It's very often used in the realm of practitioners of yoga, because we want to get some spiritual taste, some happiness, right? We actually are, all us living beings, we are after happiness. Ananda Maya Vyasat. It's from Vedas, I think, Brahma Sutra. I don't know exactly. But Prabhupada often quotes that. So it means we are the seekers of Ananda. Ananda is bliss. And we are not satisfied with temporary bliss, so-called bliss. It's very low grade. You know, it's not giving us full satisfaction. We can experience so much in this world with our senses and mind. You know, we try to enjoy different activities or objects, but it still not satisfies us fully, right? Anybody is getting full satisfaction here? Right. Mick Jagger was singing, "I can get no satisfaction." I mean, he has means. He has means to get satisfaction. I mean, material means. He has all, I mean, used to have, probably now he's very old. So the body is not anymore capable of enjoying. But usually when we are fit, you know, we have health, we have certain wealth, we think we are all equipped for enjoyment. We can buy happiness, but can we? You know, Beatles were singing, we, you know, can buy me love. You know, money can buy me love. You can have so much money, you can invest in so many things which you supposedly like, but it still leaves you frustrated in the end. So somehow, and we are the seekers of happiness, and according to Vedas, we are eternal beings, and we are just in a temporary package of material body and mind. It's just, let's say at this given moment in eternal time, we are packed like that. You know, this nationality, this gender, this age, it's very relative for the soul. If we consider the eternity of the soul, it doesn't matter. You know, it's like changing, you know, different clothing. You can put this type of clothing, next day you put that one. It doesn't change who you are eternally, right? It doesn't really change. That's why often people who grow old, or in the process of growing old, they say, I'm not different, I'm the same young person as before, I'm the same. Because it's actual truth. The person is exactly the same, not changing. But the yoga is meant to bring us this knowledge, the realization of that. You know, how we are eternal soul. And we have the means. We have the means of different processes. You just now been doing kirtanam, serving Krishna in the form of his name. You try to connect with him through chanting his name. So that is one way. He has actually unlimited names. This is just our favorite name, Krishna. It's because it includes everything. Just this one quality, being most attractive of all beings. That includes everything. Who can be most attractive? Just the most supreme personality can be most attractive. No one else. So it's a very special name. Of course, God has so many different other names according to his qualities. Like there is a name, Almighty. Yeah, we know all that. Almighty. God is Almighty, all-knowing, all-pervading. But it's not as sweet as his personal qualities. You know, being his personality is most attractive. But we should learn that, not just from the books. We should practice yoga and experience. And that is what we're doing day by day. We're getting some taste, it expands, it grows, it keeps us practicing. And the thing is, Prabhu mentioned I'm practicing 20 years or something. It actually doesn't matter, because the soul is eternal. And sometimes we take to the means of yoga in some of our lives. We practice. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we are not even human being. Sometimes we are animal, or fish, or insect, or even the tree. It takes a long time. It's like imprisonment in a certain way. Because if you're not a human being, your consciousness is somewhat contracted. And it's not open enough. You cannot find, I mean, we use the word religion, but Sanskrit word would be dharma, which is more precise. But let us operate with the word religion, because that's what we all know. So you cannot find this in animal kingdom. You cannot really find worship of the Supreme Consciousness there. It's just very basic stuff. Unfortunately, nowadays in our society, we also find just basic stuff. like meeting, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. These 4 activities you can see any living being is doing. All of them. Especially those who are moving, like mammals or even insects. They all have these 4 things. We also do have them, because we have the body, we have the mind, so the tendencies are there. But it's not the, it's not the goal of life. It's just a practical necessity. You cannot avoid it. It has to be there, but it's like in the background. We should focus on something else, and that's where yoga comes in. So, and in order to practice yoga, like anything else, you have to learn from a teacher. You have to learn from somebody who is experienced. Because experienced teacher can correct your mistakes. He can show you what is right, how it should be done, because he has the experience. We want to learn anything. You want to learn how to play musical instrument. You go to a teacher who knows how to do it. It's simple. You want to learn how to sing, anything. You want to learn psychology, business, anything. You go to a person who is experienced, and then he will give you the knowledge. And if he is really sincere, he will really try to give everything what he has to you, so you will be at your best. So therefore the system of parampara is an absolute must in order to learn yoga. Because we are dealing here with not just any knowledge, material knowledge, we are dealing here with topmost knowledge, transcendental knowledge. And that knowledge is not known in this realm to anyone. Only those who reside in spiritual realm can share what it is. Like Prabhupada used to give example of Australia. Somebody who never been to Australia, he will never know what is Australia, unless he will hear from the person who's coming from Australia and saying, we have nature like that, we have like seasons like that, and such plants and such animals and like so many things, social things and like that. So we need to come in contact with somebody who is not just theoretical, possessing theoretical knowledge, but somebody who actually resides in spiritual world. And this is what parampara is. Each and every guru, acharya, in parampara, disciplic succession, are the inhabitants of spiritual world. Of course, they don't reside in such bodies in spiritual world. This is just a vehicle. Prabhupada used this body, but he is not having that swarup. The Sanskrit word is your eternal form or your real form. So that is different from this body. He just came to birth in certain family, and he used this body in order to preach this knowledge. And even he called Bhagavad Gita, because there were already a couple translations of Bhagavad Gita before he presented his. So why it is so unique? He said, as it is. Bhagavad Gita as it is. It's not being altered. Because there is no ulterior motive in someone who is not belonging to this realm. There is no. We might have, because we are here, we want to have certain comforts, certain possessions, certain position, whatever. We want to have it. Therefore, we might manipulate somebody who is less intelligent or weaker, or this is just the tendency. This is very unfortunate that it is. This is how it is. The world is not such a blissful place. At least without Krishna consciousness, it's definitely not. You get cheated, or you'll be one of the cheaters, or both actually. Usually it's both simultaneously. You might be able to cheat somebody, but you don't know someone is cheating you. It is just how it is, unfortunately. So let us read a little bit. This book is compiled just from the classes, some excerpts of the classes of my Guru Maharaj. And he speaks on the topic of Guru. It's the whole book, and there are a few more. This is very vast topic, but since we want to know Krishna, we have to get a Guru. We have to get a guide. Otherwise we cannot know Krishna. We cannot approach him directly because he doesn't have material body. You know, there is a form which we can see, perceive, touch. This is also not material form. Krishna assumes this shape in order for us to be able to approach him. That's very special mercy. This is for us to even become conscious of his presence, you know, in our daily life. We are so materialistic usually that we are not even remember God at all. Like, we don't. We are so busy in our own activities, we don't remember God. So here in the temple is a place of worship of the Lord. Place of worship where you can actually physically do something. Because we are conditioned. We are in a physical realm. Our consciousness is not superseding yet this material reality. So it doesn't disqualify us from doing yoga. We can. Because while we do these activities like ceremonial worships, or we offer food, we sing, you know, we glorify, we speak about glories of the Lord. All these activities are meant to bring our consciousness in contact with absolute truth. That's all. And once that happens, we experience bliss. Everybody knows. To a certain point, this experience everybody has. The thing is, the highest bliss is Krishna Prema, is love of God. But unless we really awaken that love in our heart, we cannot experience that degree of Ananda. But still, the happiness we're experiencing is way more superior to material happiness. Even we as beginners, yoga practitioners, we can experience happiness which will overcome manifold material, any type of pleasure, you know. So we have the form of the deity, but do we see the, how you say, the actual Swarup? You know, is the deity talking to us? Because with pure devotees, deity would walk, deity would talk, deity would accept the food, literally eat the food. Just sit and eat. Krishna would do that, you know, and with us it's not yet happening, so means we don't have enough love. So Krishna is mercifully establishing a regulated system where we can, with awe and reverence, approach him, just to establish clearly that Krishna is the enjoyer and we are the servants. Just that concept, but it's not on the level of the mind. It's not just a theoretical thing. We do something practically, and we learn it when Krishna reciprocates. When we learn that we can derive the greatest pleasure, not by trying to enjoy ourselves, but by trying to give enjoyment to Krishna. And somebody might ask, why not give enjoyment to my beloved, my family, my neighbors, you know, people in general? What's wrong with that? Why this Krishna? Why this only personality? I think you know the answer. Who can say? Please. Why would we give enjoyment to Krishna, not to our friends, our dear ones? Yes?
They don't have to do nothing with us because they're different souls. So.
Wow. You are a real yoga practitioner here. Okay, thank you. That's to the point. In scripture, it is said that our so-called dear ones, beloved ones, they are not really our well-wishers unless they provide food for the soul. But usually they don't. They are focused on our material bodies and minds. And they want to derive certain pleasures from associating with us. So we being the object of their enjoyment, and them being also the object of our enjoyment, for our senses and the mind. And that's very temporary, you know. Like Bayasaki Prabhu was just a couple of weeks back here, and he was asking how many times one fell in love, you know. He was asking the audience, you know, you remember the feeling, falling in love, you know, and then he said, who said, I will love you for 5 years. And he said, I'll love you forever, right? Because that's what the soul wants. We want eternal love, but in this material world where everything is subject to decay, you cannot. You cannot. Even there are couples who marry and they stay till the death, but then till death will part us. Death actually is parting them. That's painful. You cannot avoid this. So, okay, Krishna is eternal and others are not. So that's one reason to offer our love to him. But then there is another reason. Yes?
Krishna is the center, and you're saying we should give water to the root and not
Yes.
to the many leaves.
Branches. And yeah, exactly. That's the Vedic example. Like a tree, if you want to see that leaves are green, you will water the root. You will not spray the leaves. Oh, you can spray the leaf, it will help a little bit, but if there is no water coming from the root, eventually leaf will dry off. So we're like little leaves and branches. We're like parts and parcels of God. He is the supreme whole, and we're his infinitesimal particles. He is supreme conscious, and we're also conscious because of that. But now we are not really conscious. So therefore the movement, Prabhupada called it Krishna Consciousness. We should become conscious of Krishna at any given moment. And we have so many means established by Acharyas, all these processes. It's to bring us from complete beginner platform to intermediate to the highest platform. So all of you are on a different level, because in your eternal existence you have practiced yoga. You have done some devotional service to Krishna. And in accordance to that, you have your so-called spiritual bank balance. You have some savings. Prabhupada explains, whenever you do something actually directed to the absolute truth, this activity, this endeavor, is not lost in vain. It stays with you forever. It's like a spiritual bank balance. And technically, it's called Sukriti, Punya. It's your... Generally we use the word piety, but it's not exactly piety. Because piety is a material term. It's like the opposite to sin. You know, somebody can be sinful, somebody can be pious. But transcendental is beyond that, beyond sinful, beyond pious. So there is another type of Sukriti, which is technically called Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti. You know, means the Sukriti which will bring about spiritual result, devotional service, loving devotional service. So it doesn't really matter on which platform we are now. If we are taking part in this universal process, we're always getting some bank balance. You know, we're topping up our spiritual bank balance. And whenever our Sukriti is like Mountain Meru, it is said, you know, the Mountain Meru is like the largest mountain in the creation. It's huge. It's, according to Vedas, it's, I don't know how many yojanas. It's like, anybody good with mathematics? It's just way beyond our even conception. It's huge. So whenever that Sukriti is accumulated to such a degree, then one's paradigm, one's vision, perception of the reality changes. You know, the statement in Shastra is about this realm, Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. What it means? You definitely know. Dukkhalayam, Dukkha. Yes. Misery, suffering. Ashashvatam.
Temporary.
Temporary. This is just two words, how the realm is described. And who can say it's wrong? Everybody of us has this experience. Finally, there are like joking, but still philosophical saying, two things are guaranteed in life, sufferings and death. So, I mean, at certain point, it is said, wise person after many births will realize, yeah, that's not a fit place for existence. Prabhupada gives example of fish out of water. That's the realm of the fish is inside the water, where it can, swim and sport freely. But if fish is outside, it can survive for some time, but it's just survival. It's nothing, it's not real happiness. No one under there. So we're the same. We're spiritual beings trapped in material bodies and minds, because mind is a subtle body. And that is also a more kind of subtle trap, because spirit, the soul, is beyond the mind. Mind is just a subtle vehicle. Some people, they have this subtle vision. They can see your aura. They can see. There are like Buddhists. They are so expert. I think 49 or even 64 different stages of subtle body they describe. It's like, wow, mind blowing. You go to that forest, you will be lost. In our Shastra, in our scripture, it's in a way simplified, which is just gross body, mind, intelligence, false ego, right? And the gross body is consisting of 5 Mahabhutas, right? Mahabhutas is like the great elements. What are those? Anyone? Earth, fire, air,
Water.
ether, and water, yeah. And they actually go in certain, there is certain, hierarchy, you can say. The most subtle one is the ether. It's just the space. And then it accommodates the little more gross one is the air. It's still very subtle, we even don't see it. So then, after the air comes fire. After the fire comes water. And after the water comes earth. So they are the the conglomerate of elements. We're not saying that there are only 5 elements in chemistry. No. It's just the main division. So, and our body is consisting of that stuff. This is how it is. I just recently cut my finger and I saw something inside. So, but yeah, this is how it is. So, but we're so attached. Oh, I cut my finger. It's my finger, and because we think I'm the body. I'm the body. I cut. Of course, I'm not suggesting now you start cutting off your limbs and I'm yogi. I'm cutting off my limbs. No, you can use your limbs. No need to cut them off. But the thing is, the more we practice yoga, we will become aloof from the bodily consciousness. I'm not this gross body. We will not be in control of or controlled by senses and mind. We will be in charge. The real yogi is in charge of his senses. We are not yet real yogis. Time after time we are, by the mercy of our acharyas and gurus. If we follow properly, if we don't forget the instruction, if we do the right way, we suddenly realize, oh, I'm not feeling at all, as this is of such an importance to me. I'm not feeling attached somehow. When we're involved in yoga, in service to Krishna, we don't really give so much importance to our body and mind. Our attention is towards absolute truth. And our body and mind is just a vehicle. We still are aware, we still are conscious how it works, but we just, when you drive a car, you just use it as a car. You don't just stick to the car and sit there day and night, oh, Tesla, I'm Tesla. No, you're not Tesla, you're driving Tesla, or whatever, maybe it's an old Volkswagen. So it doesn't really matter. And that's the beauty of it. Every soul is beautiful. Every soul is part and parcel of Krishna. Every soul is transcendental, unique, and in possession of such an amazing qualities. But we are covered with this blob of matter and mind, and we just become so limited. In our vision also, we don't see others' transcendental beauty. We see rather faults in others instead of their beauty. We see faults. We experience anger and enviousness. We are annoyed. That's nothing to do with the soul. All this stuff has nothing to do with the soul. Nothing. So the way to experience real peacefulness is through yoga. You have to connect to Krishna. And how do you do it? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And maybe it will not work first time, because we were not very focused or conscious, So, therefore there's a practice. You bring your mind, you bring your senses, you, so to say, force them to accept reality. You're in charge, you can do yoga. Mantra is the tool to liberate the mind. Yes? Manasa is the first man, and trayate, to liberate, to make it free. We want to liberate our mind from material concepts. We just want to, but it doesn't work. But if we will just deny, I'm not the body, I'm not the senses. Doesn't work long time. Somebody pinch you. What? I'm meditating here. Get out. So it means our consciousness is still on a mind platform at best. But when we really connect with Krishna through kirtan, or through hearing, or through doing service, but really our heart is connecting, not our mind. The soul is connecting. Soul is situated in the heart. And Krishna is situated in the heart. So we can connect. It's the closest person to us is Krishna. We can connect, but we miss. We are external. We all are external. We look around. Where is, enjoyment? Krishna is the source of all enjoyment. He's in our heart. We're busy searching him outside. We cannot find enjoyment. We cannot find satisfaction and happiness. So whenever one does sincere devotional service with some little affection, I'm not saying full-fledged love, some little affection. It has to be anukulyana Krishna anushilanam. Anukulyana. Yeah, anushilanam. These words indicate like positive inclination. That's very vague translation, but the meaning is you are positively inclined, doing something for Krishna. Knowingly or unknowingly, you can get that bliss, and while you experience that bliss, nobody can shake you out of that. Somebody can step on your feet or push you or whatever. You will just, you just move a little bit. You're on the way of someone else. You don't mind at all. You're not, hey, you're pushing me here, I'm standing here, I'm dancing here, or whatever. You don't have this strange concept of body and mind. And that's what we are after, and we want to expand that. We want to really leave that. We want to be there all the time. That means Krishna consciousness. But we are not really conscious of our own self. Prabhupada said, first become conscious, then Krishna conscious. His spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, said, first Atma Darshan, then Krishna Darshan. Atma Darshan is Atma. Who knows what Atma is? Me. I am Atma. Everybody, all of us, we are Atmas, but we think, no, I am such and such, Aniruddha Dasa, I'm from such and such country, I've been living here, my activity is this. Come on. Not really true. But we are so focused. And you try saying something about my concept. Wow. Try saying something, but I'm wrong. I'm doing something wrong. Hey, I will teach you a lesson. So attached we are. So the only means is to come in contact with an acharya, with somebody who is free from all these concepts. Just free. a free living being who is not conditioned, who is not forced, who is not dragged around by his mind and senses, who is not forced to act according to the law of karma. Who knows what karma is? Everybody knows, right? Or who doesn't know? Okay. Who doesn't know what karma is? Okay, somebody tell me what karma is. Activity and reaction. So it's a law. Yes.
Kind of result of your
activity.
behavior.
Yeah, it's both.
Yeah.
Because any activity will have a consequence. I move this. It's no more here, it's here. It's just a blunt example, but when we do something, we always produce a reaction, certain reaction. Every activity has a reaction. And it's been accumulating since time immemorial, since the time we are here, changing bodies. Though, should notice that karma is only produced in human body, because this great responsibility is there. The ability to develop the highest consciousness is given in human form. It's not in animal form. So animals, they are not producing karma. They're just living their karma. Whatever you produced as a human, you will, if that is this type of karma, usually the impious karma, so-called, or sinful activity produces such reaction. It will drag you to the animal kingdom, or even worse, insect or a worm. There are so many living entities. Vedas described 8,400,000 species of lives. In our universe, there are plenty of universes, we cannot count them. So, plenty of life forms, except, So, actually this is super rare. Human form of life is actually super rare. If you just consider mathematics, this is our means. It's maybe not perfect means, but we can calculate the probability with mathematics. It's tiny probability to get a human birth. Example is given if you throw the what you call the saving. It's like a donut, but it's big, and if somebody is drowning, you throw that. You can say in German, maybe no. Yeah, so that thing, if you throw it somewhere in the ocean, and there is a turtle somewhere on the bottom of the ocean, and it just goes up, swims up, and comes to the surface. So the chance that he will hit just the middle of that circle is equal to the chance one is getting human birth. That's quite rare, for sure. We are operating with analogies here, but analogy is helping us to understand. That's mostly how it is for us who have no spiritual vision. We have to at least first get theoretical understanding how it is. Then we can practice and we can gain our own spiritual realization. But first, at least we should know what are we practicing. What's the philosophy behind it? Yes?
Just a question. So if you say it's really a little probability of becoming a human, so despite of all the suffering and what you've been talking about, so actually it's a big chance, or not a big chance, just to be lucky if you're a human being, right?
It's extreme. It's like most fortunate. You're right. We are, in a way, most fortunate because we're in a human body and we are here. We can be connected to Parampara through a bona fide representative, through a guru. That's how Krishna established. If you want to know me, you should go to someone who is most dear to me and he knows me. Krishna is the enjoyer. He's not, though he sometimes also teaches, but this is not his main activity. His main activity is just receiving the offerings and love of all his dear ones. That is, he takes care through so many arrangements. He has so many avatars, expansions, Vishnu Murtis, so many, and they are involved with creating, maintaining, annihilating, all types of laws of this world. They are controlled by his avatars. He himself is just enjoying. Prabhu was asking, my friend, he was asking Alex, how to know that Krishna is God. And I told him the story, which I heard is a very funny story. There was one Englishman, gentleman, he went to India. He wanted to find out real God, who is God. And he knew in India, you know, hundreds and thousands of gods, so you go there, you probably find the real one. And he was going from temple to temple, you know, Durga temple, and this form with many arms and many weapons, ferocious usually. I mean, so many, even Vishnu temples, he has his Shankha and Gada and, you know, for disc is there, and a chakra, and a lotus flower. So, and he was not satisfied, even coming to Vishnu temple. Though we know Vishnu is Supreme Personality, but he is actually not the original, not the source of Vishnu is Krishna. So when he came to Krishna temple, he saw the deity. We don't have here, actually we have, Jagannath is that deity, but we don't have spiritual vision to see. his form standing with a flute, you know, bending in three, curved in three places. Very attractive form. Krishna exhibits that form sometimes to very fortunate ones. And he holds the flute. And then the person was very jubilant. He's God, I found God. And the priest, Brahmana priest, you know, he was like, oh, how you know he's God? He doesn't have to do anything, he's just playing the flute. You know, he has no weapons, no tools, he's just playing the flute, he's the enjoyer. And that was the correct assumption. Anyway, I think our time is slowly running out, so I didn't even touch the book. Maybe one of the next times, but still I mentioned a few things. Yes, questions time.
I have a question about, you talk about karma.
Yes.
But I hear something about akarma.
Akarma, yes. Super good question. Well, so anybody here wants to explain? Some senior devotees, maybe some of you wants to explain akarma. So akarma is the opposite of karma. So generally speaking, in Vedas, there are different divisions. Vedas are very vast. It takes probably a couple lifetimes to go through Vedas. It's such a vast scripture. So much information, so many means and practices, and they propagate, let's say, three main things. Karma, jnana, there's karma kanda or division, and jnana kanda, and upasana kanda. Upasana means worship. So, and bhakti is there, but it's hidden in a way. You really have to be lucky and meet a bhakta who will explain you how bhakti is in Vedas and where it is. And by our own intelligence, we'll be probably lost and trying to. So karma refers usually to pious activity, the activity which brings you pious result. Like I planted a tree, it will give me something good in the next life. You know, there are certain activities like planting trees, digging wells, distributing wealth, or feeding those who are in need, opening hospitals, opening schools, like universities. So you can see there are different levels. You help to the body, you help to the mind. Yeah? But these are all pious activities which bring about enjoyment, favorable material condition, nice comfort, you know, up to heavenly planets. We hear heaven, heaven. Heaven is a place of enjoyment, temporary place of enjoyment, though very long time. It's like super long time, 10,000 years. You get the birth there, you get immediately a wonderful, healthy body which doesn't stink. Sorry, because I'm a little bit sweating, I'm realizing. And doesn't go to, you know, you don't have to pass urine and stool, all that. It's not, you know, all these smelly substances are not there. Your health is perfect. You're very wealthy, everything like just meant for enjoyment. It's just a kshetra, a place of enjoyment. You go there and you forget everything in your enjoyment. You forget God also, usually. So, heaven is not our goal, but it's a trick. In Vedas, this trick is implied. You know, those people who have no qualification, they don't have Sukriti. We spoke a little bit about this Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti in the beginning, right? They cannot be attracted to the process of bhakti. Many come in contact, but they just pass by. Why? This is the most attractive thing. It provides the highest pleasure. Why they are just passing by? Because they still don't have yet accumulated enough. A little bit they still get coming in contact. They get a sanctified food, they hear mantra. So it's wonderful. It's still helping them. Considering they're eternal human beings, 5 cents in their account, no, but not bad. So it's not actually 5 cents, it's way more. But akarma usually means activity which is opposite to pious. So it means sinful activity. Usually, that's the common Vedic point. But we can see Prabhupada explains, and Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, yes.
Vikarma. Vikarma is a sinful activity.
Yeah, but akarma is as well. But Krishna is using the term akarma to indicate something which is opposite to karma. But it's in the highest sense. Because you can understand things in two ways. Apparent consideration and absolute consideration. The way Krishna sees things or the way we, conditioned souls, see things. And that can be understood like that. And our own scriptures can be understood like that. What they appear to be, I read the scripture, even the commentary of Srila Prabhupada, but it appears to me that it means that. I misunderstand. This misunderstanding is apata vichar, or apparent consideration. And then there is absolute consideration. That's why we need the system of parampara, who will check, deviation, apa siddhanta. There is siddhanta, like final conclusion of Shastra. And there is apa siddhanta, the opposite thing, just speculation. Prabhupada said, whatever you do, don't speculate. Don't speculate. Because speculation means we are just trapped in our mind and we come with some means. And through the history of even this fairly young movement in the West, it's young, it's eternal. But we had, some crazy examples. So honestly, people would come up with such activities, unfortunately. But it just exemplifies that we shouldn't speculate. We just should stick to how it is. Acharya's been doing that for millennia. We have history proving it. We have history, names are there, times, everything is fixed, and the message is the same. They will never deviate an inch, because it's transcendental, it's absolute truth, it's always right. So we want that. And according to absolute consideration, akarma means devotional service, or transcendental activity. Activity which is not bringing any karma, not pious karma, not impious karma. Therefore, as Prabhu mentioned, vikarma is the term we operate with. Vikarma is sinful activity. That's what you meant, right? Mm-hmm. So, akarma is no karma. It's something which is beyond karma. And the only activity which is not creating karma is service to Bhagavan, to Sri Krishna. And maybe any additions, comments, or other?
Thank you.
Krishna.
Karma is activity without bad reactions and without good reactions.
Yeah, I tried to explain that, but it was very short. Actually, I could have given you. Yeah, it's without any reactions. Yeah. It's transcendental. Yes. Yeah. So
karma is only achieved by the sole means of devotional service.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, it's probably 1 minute left, so Prabhu has a microphone. Yes.
She has a question now?
Yes.
No, I just wanted, so
just
karma is only achieved by the sole means of devotional service to Krishna. Right?
You can think of anything else. Try to think, is there any other means?
I cannot.
Exactly. You have to be in contact with transcendental absolute, and your consciousness should be directed and focused. Then your body, your mind will do the activity which is not creating any karma. And that's what we're after. We're not after pious karma. We're not definitely after sinful karma, because sinful karma brings you suffering. But pious karma also brings you suffering. I described you these demigods, half gods, demigods, semi-gods, whatever. They are super powerful. They are in charge. I'm saying this, but not meaning to offend any demigod. Just in comparison to Krishna, they are like, a spark. So they might be in charge of the whole like let's say element of water or element of air. It's tremendous power. I'm speaking, there's some air moving. If demigod will decide, no more movement, I'm done here. So, done talking, done whatever. So they are super powerful. And there are different grades. Some of them, like there is Indra, he's the king of heaven. He's topmost enjoyer in heaven, but he also suffers a lot because so many entities are envious of him and like that. And he's sometimes also envious. Somebody's doing austerities, getting material security. Maybe he will take my post. Oh no, I'm not done here enjoying, like that. So, and what happens to them? When the time runs out, they have a mala, wonderful garland, like you see Srila Prabhupada, deities, they have this mala from very opulent flowers in that realm, and it's very fragrant. But at a certain point it dries out. Their time is done. They're falling down from that heaven. That's, nobody's happy when that happens. For sure. You're losing all the enjoyment possible, you're losing at once. Then you have to go back, then you have to again build up your pious activities, which is difficult because there is so much mistakes and so many temptations. Especially now, everybody's a cheater. So you start also cheating because that's the mainstream. It's now the age of quarrel and hypocrisy, this Kali Yuga. So it's not our process. We try to just disregard it, just try to do akarma or devotional service. And for that reason, we need somebody who is established in devotional service eternally, never separable from Krishna, always with Krishna in the spiritual realm. In his heart is Vrindavan. Vrindavan is the highest transcendental abode where Krishna resides. In the heart of such a transcendental person is Vrindavan, where Krishna and all his associates. There was one wonderful verse I wanted to quote. It's like 11 jewels, which we receive from spiritual master, including Govardhan Hill, and like all those dear places of Krishna's pastimes are there in the heart of the person. Therefore, Krishna is bound in that heart. That's a Vaishnava. How Vaishnava appears here in this realm. He's not bound to be here. He can depart at any time. He just remains here for our sake. He wants Krishna's work to continue. He wants Parampara to go on. That's Krishna's desire. This is how Krishna established, so we will know it. And this place is the embassy of spiritual world. You come here to come in touch with Krishna. If you do yoga under the right guidance, you definitely come in touch with Krishna. You definitely will experience bliss. 100% guaranteed. Prabhupada said, not me, nobody. Prabhupada said, 100% guaranteed. In this lifetime you can go back to Krishna, if you are determined. But that determination you should get from somebody who is, you can see him practicing this bhakti yoga perfectly. You have to see a living example. You have to hear his advice. You have to be guided by him. This is the guru. And finally, the topic was the one who gives Krishna Prema. So now just one word. The highest gift from a guru is that Krishna Prema. He sees how disciples' faith is progressing, how his transcendental realization is progressing, up to the point that one fully awakens his dormant love of Godhead in the heart. That's the goal of our practice. So, and the means is to be guided by somebody who has it. It's just obvious, simple as that. So, maybe difficult to find somebody like that. Many will claim, I am Guru, but only Krishna knows who is Guru. Only Krishna in your heart can guide you. You ask sincerely, Krishna, I really now, I came to the point, I want to know you. I'm done, taking birth, dying, and suffering in between. Please, save me, guide me. He will guide you from within, and he will appear outside as a guru. Guru is that transcendental person, transparent via medium. He's transparent. He has no ulterior motives. The only motive is to be transparent, to represent Krishna, so Krishna can manifest fully and guide us blind, spiritually blind. That's simple as that. And then, if one completes the study, so to say, properly, though the study is never completed, because Krishna Prema is expanding, but if one reaches that platform, he's qualified to enter Krishna Lila, to be Krishna's associate, to be part of Krishna samsara. We have our own samsaras, our friends, loved ones. Temporarily we have it, but our real samsara is with Krishna, and we have to get that. I'm sorry I'm over time. We have to wrap up. And thank you for your attention. Yes.
What is the name of the master of yours?
Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu.
He's in India.
Yeah, his health is not allowing him to travel much. You can get the books. It's
what is the name of the book?
Prema Pradata Shri Guru. It's in Sanskrit. The giver of Krishna Prema. Yeah. So, very well. Thank you very much. Jai Shri Prabhupada, Shri Gurudev ki jai. Jai Gauranga ki jai. Jagannath Pradesh Baladev Sushan Chakra ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Hari Hari Bol, Aniruddha Prabhu ki jai. So thank you very much, Aniruddha Prabhu. Then for those of you who might have some questions, want to see the book, Aniruddha Prabhu will be here. You can anytime ask him. Just a quick program. I saw some new guests also came in the meantime. Now we're going to serve prasadam outside, vegetarian meal. And then at 6:15 we will continue in this room. There will be a guided japa meditation. So somebody will show you how to do that on prayer beats. You can also come and take part. And at 6:45 there will be a presentation in this temple room. Many of you know the war in Ukraine, Russia is still going on, and we tend to forget about it. But we have some devotees who will come and make a presentation about a food relief program in Ukraine. So they help people in general and devotees to get sufficient food in these difficult times. And they want to make a presentation to all of you so you can see how you can also maybe support such a project. So please come at 6:15 for the japa meditation, and then 6:45 there will be the presentation. And 7 o'clock we have our ceremony here, the Gora Arti. This is a traditional ceremony, and you are also welcome to take part in that. And then the program goes on till 9:30 in the evening. So thank you again for coming, and have a wonderful Sunday feast. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.